Welcome to part 2 of this battle report between the Thousand Suns and the Orcs. If you have not watched part 1, I will put a link in this video, so hopefully you'll be able to find it. I suggest you go and watch part 1, otherwise you won't know what's going on. If you have watched part 1, then we're going to continue with Orc turn 3. A load of Orc reinforcements will of course be added to the Orc battle lines as the Orcs charge the Thousand Suns one more time. Okay, here we are at the end of movement phase for the Orcs turn 3. Unsurprisingly, an advance up the field. The boys here are going to try and see if we can take on that Hell Brute with its multi-melter. The Stomper only gained 1 wound again from the big mech, but he's back up to 13 and has moved 6 inches up the table. The reinforcements have zoomed on ahead. I think the horrors are in a little bit of trouble, and I think the knobs and the warboss got a little bit bored of the truck not going very far, so they have all got out and they're going to probably make a mess of the Helldrake. Although the Weirboy does have the jump, which is going to be quite a useful spell perhaps in the lower end, in the later stages, if I can talk, of this game. And then reinforcements are coming in, which will maybe feature later on in the game. Right, in fact, talking of the game, let's talk about the psychic phase. Oh, I forgot to mention that Rubric did pass his morale check after 3 of his colleagues blew up. Let's do the jump. Okay, the Weirboy doing the jump on the knobs. 8, that's going to pass. I've got a denial in range and that fails. And suddenly there's a group of angry looking knobs in the Thousand Suns backfield looking up to charge the Defiler. Okay, let's go on to the shooting phase. Okay, even though it's run out of ammo in the Mega Gatler, I'm still going to spend 2 command points on more Dakar on the Stomper. I should have been doing that, frankly, from the word go. So, the big gun and a missile, big rocket, is going to go into Magnus. The small arms, the Scorcher, is going to go into the Fate Skimmer, and then the small arms are going to go into the Flamers. Right, D6 auto hits into the Fate Skimmer. 4, lost it, 1, which wounds, and then he'll have a 4-up invulnerable save, which he saves. Okay, these are the small arms, big shooters into the Flamers, and Dackering on 5s and 6s. So that's 5 Dackers. And then 3s to wound. 5 wounds, 5 4-up saves, 2 wounds each. Only 1 takes a wound. Okay, heavy D6 for the missile, the big rocket. Oh, goodness. We'll hit on a 5 or 6. It does hit, and it Dackers. And doesn't hit the second time. Strength 10, toughness 7, 3s to wound, wounds, 3-up invulnerable, saved. Right, been rolling low, this needs to be high. Now that's not too bad. That is 14 shots. 14 shots with the Death Cannon, hitting on 5s. That's a fail, but on a 6, because of keeping order, they don't run away. But no, he does. So that's 8 victory points for the Thousand Suns. Okay, the shock jump dragster is out of range, and so are the rockets on the Megatrat Scrapjet, but the big shooters can reach down into the Screamers. Blue dice are the Gretchen fired ones, hitting on 4s, the rest on 5s. So that's 3 hits with a Dakar, which doesn't convert. Wounding on 3s. Only 1 wound, 4-up save. No, it takes a wound. The big shooter in the Shooter Boy squad is also in range. and you can see the screamers, so they're hitting on not that. And these are the Daka guns going into the remaining horrors. Okay, the Warbikers getting 13 hits with their Dakas, winning on 3s. 9 wounds. First 2 against the blue horrors, saving on 5. 1 saves. Last blue horror saves. Blue horror fails. Next 2 on pinks, they both fail. And that leaves 3 more wounds coming through. So the next 2 onto the brimstones, 6s. They're destroyed, and then the last one onto one of the blue horrors, which also gets destroyed. So that turns into a brimstone, leaving the squad like that. Forgot to fire the rest of the shooters in that boy unit, so they're going to do that now, and they're going to go into the horrors, hitting on 5s. 10 hits with the Dakas, winning on 3s. 5 wounds, brimstone saved, brimstone dies, and then blue horrors 1 is slain. Okay, Death Killer War Trike, twin boomsticks, and the Snagger Claw is going to fire into the horrors. I'm going to roll them at the same time because it's the same hit roll and wound rolls. So 5s. Typical Orc shooting, only 1 hit, winning on 3s, does wound, and 6 up against the brimstone. No, just leaving 2 blue horrors left. And then it will fire its auto hit of the burner. I think it's the killer burner. Oh, hit 6 times. 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to wound on 3s. And they all wound. So the first 2 saves kill, so there's only 2 brimstones left, which 1 saves, and then that is the squad destroyed finally. That's taken so much firepower. Yeah, it's an expensive unit. That it's about 300 points to or just under, I think, have 10 or 9 pink horrors that can split into blue, and they can split into brimstone. So whilst yeah, but I think they've paid for their sacrifice. They've slowed down the Orks, those horrors, quite a lot. Okay, let's continue with the shooting. Let's do the looters into the Helldrake. They fire D3 shots, only 1 again, hitting on 3s. Not 3s, 5s. Only 3 hits so far, 2 Dakas, 4 hits, strength 7, toughness 7, 4s, 2, 4 up saves, takes 2 damage. Okay, continuing then, the Bonebreaker will put its big shooters into the Flamers and the Kill Cannon into the Helldrakes. So these are the big shooters. 5 hits with Daka, not converting. 3s to wound. Oh, they all wound though. 4 up Zinchi Demon saves, and that is 2 Flamers destroyed because 1 was already wounded. Okay, the Kill Cannon fires 1 shot, which hits on a 5, which misses. Okay, the War Boss will just fire his rocket profile here on 5, here miss. Okay, the boys here, sluggers are going to go into the chariot and the rocket into the Hell Brute. This is the rocket, which misses. These are the sluggers. 2 hits, Daka, not working, but 2 wounds. Right, 2 4-up saves. Need both of these, at least one of them, to keep it in. No, that's a destroyed chariot. Okay, and that concludes the shooting phase for Orcs turn 3. I did the knobs off camera with the sluggers, they did no damage, as well as the grots. They did no damage against the Hell Drake. So, okay, it's not too bad a shooting phase actually, as it turned out. But yeah, I think the Orcs still need to step up. And so let's go into the charge phase. Okay, charges then. These Orc boys is going to go into the Hell Brute. The Stomper is going to charge both the Rhino and the remaining Zinchi Flamer. And I'm going to spend 2 command points on ramming speed for the Stomper. I really want to try and get this a bit further up the table. The War Boss will go into the Hell Drake. And I might as well declare charge with the Death Claw Trap. I think actually it's over 12 inches. Hold on. Yes, it's just out, so I can't do that. But okay, I think that's it for charges. I might as well declare a charge with the Grots and the truck actually into the Helldrake. I think the Helldrake will Overwatch. So let's see if the Grots get in. 8. Somewhat emboldened by the presence of the War Boss, perhaps, or maybe he's just glaring at them. But they will suffer D6 auto hits. 3. And they will be killed on the 2s. So 3 get roasted on the way in. This is the War Boss. 6. Yep, that's obviously going to be in. That's going to put him up here. And then the truck. 9, that's definitely him. I'm just primarily with the truck and the Grots trying to use the charge phase to get a little further up the board. Going to get it on camera. It's actually a 10-inch charge to the Flamer, and that's a 12, so that's definitely in. 3d6 being rolled for the charge because of ramming speed, and on the 2 up it does mortal wounds. I have to check to see whether that's against each unit charge or just against one unit. Let me check, hold on, but it does activate. Yes, it's select an enemy unit, so it can't cause multiple wounds to both. So I'm going to put it against the demon. Yes, so that's 2 mortal wounds, which destroys it. And then finally the Ork boys. Yep, that's going to be him. And of course the knobs here against the Defiler. Perhaps should have Overwatched with that, but I've done it now. I forgot to declare the knobs charging into the Defiler, so I've obviously my Thousand Sun self has allowed my Orc self to do that, but also had that been the case, I would have definitely Overwatched with that unit and not my Helldrake. So I'm going to put the Grots back, and I'm going to now Overwatch with the Defiler. So this is the Heavy Flamer. That's twice in a row. I think it's last game it rolled Snake Eyes. I'm going to command point reroll that one of them, I think. 4, slightly better. Which will wound on 3s. 2 -1, so 5 up saves. Yeah, so 1 takes a wound from the Heavy Flamer. This is the autocannon, hitting on 6s. Rerolling 1s. Because the Demon Prince still misses. And then the Battle Cannon will fire 3 times. And will hit on 6s. Rerolling 1s because the Demon Prince. No, that's a bit ineffective. Do they get in? Need a 9. Right, maths. I'm definitely rerolling the 3. If I keep the focus. If I keep the 4, I need a 5 or 6 to get in. 1 and 3. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep the 4. Oh, they fail the charge, and I don't think the Thousand Suns will allow them to make a second charge. What a shame. Thousand Suns getting a command point back with Helm of the Third Eye. Okay, let's do the War Boss first. He has 4 attacks base, hitting on 2s. +1 attack because he's the biggest boss, and yeah. So he can reroll failed hits. So he hits 5 times. This is strength 12. Freeze to wound, rerolling failed wounds because it's the Killer Claw. So 4 can be the demon saves, 5 up, or flat 4 damage. Nope, that is 12 damage. Do I command point reroll? Yeah, command point reroll for the Thousand Suns. Doesn't work. No, that is a destroyed Helldrake. Does it blow up? No. Okay, choosing to interrupt the Hell Brute. It's going to hit with its Hell Brute fists on freeze. Just out of range of Magnus, so that misses, and then killing on 2s. Squishes 4 boys. Leaving only 2 left, so the knob will smack back, hitting on 4s. Hits twice. Winning on freeze. Wounds once. -3 saves, so 6 up. And it's saved. Oh dear. And then the Orc boy hits. He'll be winning on 5, strength 4, toughness 7. No, the Orcs just bounce. Okay, I'm going to spend a command point on patch up. For the Stomper says it's treated on his maximum profile for assault purposes. See if 1,000 Suns get a command point back. No, they don't. He's going to use the smash profile of his Mega Chopper on the Rhino, and he's hitting on freeze because of patch up job. Still misses 3 times. And it'd be wounding on freeze, strength 10. Goodness sake, only wounds once. -5, 6 damage. So it can't save, puts it down to 2 wounds. I'm going to command point reroll that because I want the Rhino destroyed. No. Tzeentch says no. Okay, the Rhino managed to hit but didn't wound. Okay, and that's the end of the Orc turn 3. Yeah. I don't think the Orcs really landed their blow very well. I think the 1,000 Suns are definitely in the ascendancy here. That still feels like the defences are holding. But let's see what they do as the 1,000 Suns go into turn 4. Psychic defences don't. Oh, they do trigger. Let's do D3 wounds on the looters for free. Okay, at the end of movement phase for 1,000 Suns turn 4, not very much happening other than Magnus the Red is finally going to have a bit of a showdown with the Stomper. He's only got 13 wounds left, so I do fancy his chances of being able to take it out. The Demon Prince has come around here, figures, to engage the knobs. Yeah, and the Warlord is going to get psychically attacked by both the Exalted Sorcerer and the Shaman. And then if he's softened up enough with those attacks, there may be a charge in to try and cut the head off the snake. So I think this is going to be a turn when the 1,000 Suns are going to try and put their authority on the battlefield. The Screamer's coming round to engage in with that Pain Boy, because it's still the unit, still get a victory point for taking that out. Okay, the demonic rituals continue. This sorcerer will try and summon in reinforcements. Yep, and that's going to be enough to get the Fate Skimmer. And then this one, we'll roll 2d6. And we'll get some flamers back. And it looks like that. Okay, Psychic Phase. Magnus the Red will try and smite the Stomper. That goes off on a 9. I'll try and deny it with the Weird Boy. Ooh, gave it a go, but no, not quite. So that is D6 mortal wounds on the Stomper for 5, leaving it with 8 left. He will then try and heal himself, which succeeds. D3 wounds back for 3. He will then try to Glamour of Tzeentch himself, and that succeeds. Okay, the Shaman will smite the War Boss, and that succeeds. D3 mortal wounds for 2. Then the Exalted Sorcerer will do the same. This is on 7 now. It does succeed. D3 mortal wounds, 2. That's 4 taken. Okay, Bolt of Change coming from the Exalted Sorcerer, and that doesn't go off. That's a shame. That would have turned him into a spawn. The Aspiring Sorcerer will try and do Time Flux, and that succeeds. So 1 model returns to his unit, which is the Soul Reaper Cannon. Demon Prince will do Diabolic Strength on himself, and that fails, but he's within range of the Noctilith Crown, so I reroll that. And that's a perils. Can't re-roll a re-roll. I'm going to spend a command point to negate that. Adepts of the Immaterium, and then he will do Boon of Change on himself, which does go off and gives him an extra limb, so he's got +1 attack for until the end of the psychic phase. Araman, might as well smite. I think we're on to 8 now, and that's a fail. Second spell, Infernal Gaze, which goes off, and on 4-ups it will cause mortal wounds. This is against the Orc squad. That's 3 mortal wounds. That's killed the unit. Finally, he will prescience the Hell Brute, and that fails. Okay, Firestorm of Tzeentch coming from this sorcerer, and that is a fail, so I re-roll that because of Noctilith Crown. That passes. This is against the Knobs. Mortal wounds on 6s. 1 mortal wound. That's going to kill that Knob that was injured. His second spell is Boon of Mutation, which succeeds. I roll 2d6. 4. And that is Temporal Distortion again. Add 3 to the character's move characteristic. So both of those sorcerers got movement 9 now. Not that they're doing much moving. Final sorcerer will smite. This is a 9. Fails. Noctilith Crown reroll. Still fails. And his other spell has already been cast, so he can't cast that. That's the end of the psychic phase. And it's not got Aspiring Sorcerer from the Terminators. They're going to have to do Baby Smite, so this is now on a 10. Fails. And then on the rubrics, this is now on 11. Ooh, gave it a go. Not quite. Right, I was tempted to multi-melter the Stomper in the shooting phase, but Magnus wants to take it out, so he orders him not to. He's going to fire against the Pain Boy. Ooh, because if he's slain, then they could probably do a charge against the Big Mech. So multi-melter against the Pain Boy. Is within 6 of Araman now, so let's reroll that. 2 hits. Wounding on 2s. Snake eyes! Oh dear. Okay, I did the cultists off camera, and they actually managed to do 2 wounds against the Pain Boy. Okay, 3d6 also hits from the Flamers into the Knobs, hitting 13 times. 4s to wound. 8 wounds. 5 up saves at -1. 5 Knobs left, and now the rubrics will speak. Soul Reaper into the Knobs. Only hits once, wounding on 3s. Wounds, it's -3, goes through the armour and kills that 1-on-1 wound. 3s. 12 hits from the rapid firing Warp Bolters and 4s to wound. 4 wounds, -2, so 6 up saves. That's another 2 Knobs dead. Yeah, the Knobs paying for their failure to charge, and I think will be dispatched by the Demon Prince quite easy. Okay, fire into the Stomper because not much they can really target. This is the missile launcher hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s, and 5 up saves. That's 4 damage. These are the Warp Storm Bolters. Oops. Can reroll 1s because of Magnus. 6s to wound, strength 4, toughness 8. 2 5-up saves. The Stomper's down to 2 wounds. Okay, that's the end of the shooting phase, so let's go into the charge phase. Magnus Red will be charging the Stomper. The 2 characters down here will be charging the War Boss, and the Demon Prince will charge the Knobs in the corner. Oh, and the Screamers will charge the Pain Boy. I might as well Overwatch with the Stomper. Okay, Scorcher hits 3 times. Wounds on 5s. 1 3-up and vulnerable saved. These are the small arms, hit on 6s. Stackers. No. 5s to wound. Oh, they all wound. 3-up saves. Magnus takes 2 wounds. Okay, this is an important one. The Death Cannon. How many shots? Oh, 13. 6s to hit. 2 so far, Daka. Only 2. Strength 10, freeze to wound. Oh, only 1 wound, 3 up save. Saved. Okay, all the other charges have got in. It'd be rude not to activate Magnus first. This should be fairly easy. 2s, rerolling 1s. And then strength 16, toughness 8, rerolling 1s. Not rerolling 1s, just on 2s. And that is -3. So these are 6 up saves. I need to make each and every single one. I don't. That is 18 damage. It's only 2. Only had 2. Does the Stomper explode? Ah! It does! Perhaps Magnus just hit it a little bit too hard with his sorcerer's powers. Maybe the missile launcher from the Terminators was cooking off some ammo inside, but whatever it is, it's a 2d6 blast radius. Oh, that's a little disappointing. I think it's... yeah, it's just going to hit the Rhino and Magnus. That is a bit disappointing. So Magnus suffers 4 mortal wounds. The Rhino suffers 6. So the Rhino is destroyed. Does the Rhino blow up? It does! What's going on? Right, so 6 explosion for the Rhino, which causes D3 wounds. So the Zangor Enlightened survives on a wound. The Zangor Shaman takes 2 wounds. The Exalted Shaman, Exalted Sorcerer takes 2 wounds. And it does get the War Boss, and he's only got 2 wounds. And he is also slain in the explosion. Wow, what a charge by the Crimson King. It takes out the Stomper, and then the subsequent explosion takes out the War Boss. The Ork War has been stunted in the middle ground here in this turn. As the smoke clears, Magnus the Red stands triumphant in front of his army. Orc player is spending 2 command points, putting him down to 5 to interrupt with these 2 knobs. It's probably unlikely, but it is technically possible. They could slay the Demon Prince, so let's hopefully see if that happens. 4 ups to hit with their unwieldy power claws. Ah! They all hit! Wow. Freeze to wound. Strength 10, toughness 6. Need another good roll. Okay, so that's not too bad. 4 wounds. And it's going to be on his demon save. 5 up, otherwise he'll be doing D3 damage. It's 3d3 damage. This could kill the Demon Prince. I'm going to do a command point for the Thousand Suns. And that still fails. So 3d3 damage. 8 wounds to get through. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 1 wound left. Oh! I think the Orc player's going to have to command point reroll. There's 1 in 3 chance of taking out the Demon Prince. I think I've got to grab it. If I get less or the same, it doesn't really change much. So let's do that. Command point reroll for the Orcs. 5 or 6 needed. No, exactly the same. 1 wound left on the Demon Prince. Okay, Demon Prince has 4 attacks base, +1 for Hateful Assault, +1 because he's using Malefic Talons, and +1 because he has an extra arm boon of change. Hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s, and the strength 7 with the Malefic Talon, freeze to wound, and 6 up saves. Need to make all of these. No, they're dead. Screamers against the Pain Boy, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s. And that will 3 of them. Pain Boy Shrug. Yeah, it still kills him. And that concludes turn 4 for the Thousand Suns. Yeah, they are now up to 15 victory points by my reckoning, and it's looking quite unlikely that the Orcs will be able to keep get as many bodies up the table as they require. But it isn't over until the fat orc sings. So let's go on to orc turn 4. Here we are at the end of movement phase to orc turn 4. Second stomper has just stomped onto the battlefield. The mega knobs advanced into the bone breaker, which is now trundled further up the battlefield along with the Deathkiller Wartrike and the knobs on bikes. Everything else is just generally advancing. Gonna try and punch away through. Magnus is a little bit exposed here, and there's quite a lot of firepower that's going to be coming his way. So if Magnus is removed from the game, then you know, Thousand Suns may start struggling to be able to deal with the second stomper. If this game ends in turn 5, I think it's going to be a Thousand Suns victory. But if it continues to go on, then who knows? Orcs could still pull it off. But let's go into the psychic phase. The shaman is going to cast the jump on the big squad of boys, and that does go off. I do have a denial. I think I'll see what I roll. No, that doesn't pass. Okay, so, and that is where they end up. I did consider perhaps putting them in this far corner, but I think it'd probably be better if they continue their punch up in this direction. So that's the end of that psychic phase. Let's go into the shooting phase. Okay, spending 2 command points. I'm giving more Daka on the Stomper, and it's going to open up everything into Magnus. Death Cannon, the Super Gatler, and a Super Rocket. So let's do the and the small arms. The big shooters are going to go into the Screamers. Right, so let's do the Screamers first. Hitting on 5s. Wow, only 2 hits. 15 dice hitting on 14 dice hitting on 5s. Wounding on 3s, strength 4, and then there's a 4-up save, and that fails. So it does destroy that one. Death Cannon fires 13 times, and even though Magnus Red has got Glamour of Zinch on him, which is -1 to hit, with Given More Dagger, it's always hitting on 5s. 5 hits with 2 daggers, which one converts. Strength 10, toughness 7, freeze to wound. 5 wounds, 3 up invulnerable, d6 damage, 10 wounds. That is 3 fails. Going to have to command point 1. Oh, and it still fails. 3d6 damage, 10 to get through. Magnus Red is cast back into the warp. Boomsticks and the Snagger Claw are going to try and finish off that Enlightened. That's 2 hits, wounding, 2 daggers, which don't convert, wounding on 3s. 2 wounds, 2 5-up saves. Nope, that's him gone. Okay, the Grots can't quite see over the truck to shoot at the Zangor Shaman, so they're going to have to shoot at the Enlightened. Not the Enlightened, the Sorcerer. 8 hits with Dagger. Winning on 5s. Strength 3, toughness 4. And then 3 3-up power saves. Takes another wound. Shooter from the truck into the Shaman. Hits once with a Dagger. Doesn't convert. Wounds 3s. Wounds 5-up save. Doesn't save. 1 wound left for the Shaman. Okay, the Looters are going to shoot the Exalted Sorcerer. Fire twice. 5s. 5 hits, 4 daggers. So 6 hits. This is strength 7, toughness 4, freeze to wound, and -1. So these are 4-up saves, and that is 4 damage and the Exalted Sorcerer is slain. Okay, the Knobs and Bites are going to split fire. 3 of them are going to try and plink the last wound off the Zangor Shaman. So this is 18 dice for 3 bites, hitting on 5s. 18 dice hitting on 5s. I got 2 hits. That's a shocking roll. Wounding on 3, strength 5. 1 saved, and you're 5 up invulnerable though, and that is enough still to kill the Shaman. Should I command point reroll? Go on then. No, it's still dead. The rest of the bites into the Screamers. That's a bit better. 7 daggers. 14 hits with the other lot, so this is winning on 3s. 4 up invulnerables. And they've got 2 wounds each, so that's going to kill the rest of that squad. With that devastating barrage, there's only... the Thousand Suns are beginning to look a bit thinner on the ground. These recycling units are beginning to take their toll. The most far forward Thousand Suns unit is this Hellbrute. So they are pretty much pinned in the last quarter now. As we continue with the Orc shooting phase. Now those sluggers that are in range are going to shoot into the cultists. The missile will go, the rocket will go into the, where it's going to miss the Hellbrute. 9 are in range, hitting on 5s. That's 1 hit. Wounding on 3s. Does wound, and with the barrier that gives them a 5 up save. They do kill another cultist. Okay, the Megatrak Scrapjet, only its big shooters are in range. Oops. And they're going to shoot into the cultists. Blue dice are the Goblin. And the grey are the Orcs. So that's 1 hit. Sorry, 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. Wounds, and then a 5 up save. No, another cultist gets shot. Okay, and that is the end of a pretty good shooting phase for the Orcs. No, it's not. I've got the Bone Breaker. Hold on. That will put all its weapons into the Terminators. So this is the kill cannon, fires 5 shots. Hitting on 5s. No. And then the big shooters. 2 daggers. No, and then wounding on 3s. Only 1 wound and a 2 up save, which saved. The the Deathclaw Wartrike will go in charge into the Terminators, and I might as well declare charge with the Knobs and Bites, even though it's a 12-inch charge. So this is the Deathkiller, and I'm going to reroll both dice. So here we go. That is a failed charge. The Orcs. We roll, sorry, this is the Bikers. Oh, they gave it a very good go, but that's 2 failed charges. And that is the end of Orc turn 4. I'll check for the cultists they hold. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, here we are at the end of the movement phase for the Thousand Suns turn 5. I think the defences are holding, but they're looking a bit more ragged. And for the Thousand Suns perspective, it's about scoring as many victory points as possible, because I think the Orc wave is going to hit them quite hard next turn as well. So the demons, obviously demons are key for the Thousand Suns, because obviously they can keep summoning more reinforcements in. So they're being chucked forward, try and slow the advance down. But other than that, yeah, Demon Prince coming back over in this direction, and the Flamers are come forward to screen that Sorcerer. Again, these Sorcerers are quite key, because they're the ones who are summoning back into the game. So at the end of the movement phase, this Sorcerer can start summoning again. You can use 3d6. Ooh, and they take... Yeah, okay, so that's a peril. It takes D3 mortal wounds. Lost it for 2, got 2 left, and I rolled 5. I just checked, it takes 1 mortal wound. It's D3 if they get a triple result. Okay, and so as a result, the Exalted Flamer has zipped back into existence. Okay, this sorcerer will do the same. And he also takes a mortal wound. He's down to 3 wounds, but that was 12. So once again, Tzeentch demons come flooding out of the portal. Another squad of horrors. However, the strain is beginning to show on these 2 sorcerers as they take mortal wounds each. I'm not entirely sure how summoning and the horrors splitting into blue and brimstones work. The power rating for a squad of 10 or up to 10 pink horrors is 4. To add 20 more horrors, up to 20 more horrors into the unit is another 8. So 8 plus 4 is 12. So the way I'm going to do it is that these horrors can split into blue horrors, but not brimstone, because that would have required 16, which you couldn't do them. Well, 3 dice could do it, I suppose. 3 6s, but there we go. So I hope that makes sense. They can split into blue, but not brimstones. Okay, it's kick off with Araman, who's pretty much taken over command of the army. He's going to prescience the Scarabacock Terminators on a 7, and that goes off. Denial is out of range. He will smite the Orc boys in front of him. And that's a super smite. So that's D6 dead Orc boys for 2. He will then Infernal Gaze the... He's going to go into the bites, because it doesn't have to be the nearest visible. So 2d6 on 5s, that is successful. And then on 4-ups, he will do mortal wounds. No. Okay, these Rubrics will cast Time Flux. And that fails. Perhaps should have done Gaze of Fate first, but I'm going to do it now. And that goes off. I've got to re-roll. Okay, all the sorcerers with temporal manipulation, that's the healing spell, are now dead. So I'm going to spend a command point, put me down to 5. On the Demon Prince, get Chaos Familiar, which means he's going to swap out his his Boon of Change spell with temporal manipulation, and then he will cast it upon himself to try and heal. And that succeeds, and he will get D3 wounds back for 2. And then I'm going to spend another command point on Sorcerous Infusion, which means if a character rolls 9 or more on a psychic test, they can heal themselves D3 wounds. So another D3 coming back for 3. So he's suddenly gone from 1 wound to 6 wounds. He will then smite for his second power. That hit the Death Killer Wartrike. Yes, that does go off. D3 mortal wounds for 2. There's 6 left on the Death Killer. Okay, this also would cause Boon of Mutation on himself, and that goes off. Consult a table, 8. And that's Aura of Illusion, -1 to hit him in the fight phase. His second power will be Smite. This is on a 7. That does go off, and it will hit the Death Killer Wartrike, D3 wounds. For 1, he's down to 5. This sorcerer will do Firestorm of Tzeentch on the Death Killer Wartrike. That fails. I need a 7, so I re-roll because the Noctilith Crown. Now it succeeds. 9 dice, mortal wounds on 6s. That's only 1 again. One day I shall get more than 1 mortal wound from that spell. Next up, Smite. This is on 8. That fails, so I shall re-roll because of the Noctilith Crown, and that still fails. And then the rubrics up there, Final Smite, and that succeeds. And it is a baby super smite, so it's D3 mortal wounds. It's going to hit Death Killer Wartrike, I think, again. Putting it down to 3. It gets blasted by magic from the Thousand Suns lines. And that's the end of the psychic phase. Okay, kicking off the shooting phase, let's do the prescience up to Terminators. The missile launcher will go into the Death Killer Wartrike, and the rapid fire Storm Bolters will be going into the bikes. And I'm going to spend a command point on Veterans of the Long War. putting Thousand Suns down to 4 command points. This is a missile launcher hitting on 2s because of prescience. Both hit. Wounding on 3s goes to 2s because of veterans. Both wounds. 2 minus 2 saves, so 6s. And that's 4 damage. That's a destroyed Deathkiller Wartrike. Does it blow up? No. Okay, these are the Warpstorm Bolters into the bikes. Hitting on 2s because of prescience. Rerolling 1s because of the Demon Prince. So 1 miss. Strength 4, toughness 5. That's 5s to wound, but 4s because of veterans. 11 wounds, 11 minus 2, so these are 6 ups. Actually, the custom force field is kicked in, so only 5 failed saves, so that's a destroyed bike and 1 on 1 wound. Okay, Cultist rapid fire autoguns into the Orc boys, hitting on 4s, rerunning 1s because of Araman. 4 1s. 10 hits, winning on 5s. 3 t-shirt saves, 2 die. Multi-melter will go into the Bonebreaker from the Hellbrute. It hits twice, it will wound on 4s. It wounds twice. Custom force field save though, so 5 up and vulnerables. Deflects off the custom force field. Exalted Flamer into the bikes, hitting on 4s. Misses. Okay, Araman shot dead a boy with his warp bolt pistol. The Soul Reaper behind him will open up into the boys, and it hits all the time, all 4 times, and will kill on 3s. Killing 4. Good. Mowing down the load there. Right, these rubrics will probably fire at the truck. It's only got 4 wounds left. So this is the Soul Reaper hitting on 3s. Hits 3 times. Winning on 5, strength 5, toughness 6. 8. Rapid fire bolt guns. 5s to wound. 5 wounds, 5 6-up saves, 4 wounds to get through. And that is a destroyed truck. Just about enough. Does it blow up? No. The Defiler autocannons will go into the bikes, and the battle cannon into the Bonebreaker. So, I won't. Yeah, okay, I'll do Battle Forge again, why not? So this is the autocannons, and I can reroll misses because of not Battle Forge, Demon Forge. And Strength 7, Toughness 5, 3s to wound, rerolling failed wounds. So that's 3 minus 1 saves, so 5 up. 5 up. So it's going to kill that bike and put 1 wound on that one. The battle cannon fires 3 times, hitting on 4s, rerolling failed hits. Only hits once. Strength 8, toughness 8, 4s, rerolling failed wounds. Does 5 up save, and that is a D3 damage for 3. Okay, 15 wounds left on the Bonebreaker. Now the only charge I think is going to be the Hellbrute. He might as well go into the bikes. I won't overwatch. Let's see if he gets in. Yep, 10. In here go there. Now activate him. 5 attacks with Hateful Assault, hitting on 3s. It'll be wounding on 2s. Strength 16 with his fists, and it's going to -3 is going to go crump, and then I think it's flat 3. Let me double. Yes, Hellbrute Fist -3 flat 3, so it does destroy another bike. Attacks back. This is the Mega Knob with the Power Claw, hitting on 4s. Only hits once, wounding on 3s. Wounds. 6 up save. No, D3 damage for 3. 5 left, and then the normal knob hitting on 3s, wounding on 5s. 1 wound, 3 up save, saved. Okay, at the end of the combat phase, does he go berserk? No, he doesn't go berserk. Okay, and that is the end of Thousand Suns turn 5. Got a morale check on the knobs on bikes. Oh, 6. That's going to be a fail. So usually 1 will flee, but they've got keeping order, which means they don't flee on a 6. No, so one does flee, and then the other one would flee on a 1 or 2. No, he sticks around, so just the boss knob left. And that has put the Thousand Suns up to 17 victory points as we go into Orc turn 5. Okay, here we are at the end of movement phase, turn 5 for the Orcs. They're back up to 5 command points. The war boss has called in a taxi to try and get him a bit further up the table if the game continues. However, I think time is running a bit low for the Orcs, but there's been a general charge up the field. Most things advancing, staying in combat, Death Dread trying to finish off the Hellbrute. This advancing, because I wanted to try and get it into the scoring part of the game, but I think it didn't quite get there enough. And the heroic Grots, one of the few survivors of the very initial push. I think that, and along with the big mech, about the only thing surviving from the initial deployment. So oh yes, and what is this? This is the shock jump dragster. Managed to get up to 88 miles per hour and went through warp space and is pinged up here. So let's go on to the psychic phase. Very simple. The jump is going to go into the shooter boys, and that succeeds, although it's also going to be a perils. Actually, it's not. You measure 10 inches away from the weird boy, and for every 10 orc models, you add 1 to the psychic test. So there are 18 orc models within 10 inches of him, not including that grot oiler. And so that's +1 to the cast, so that does cast on an 11. Okay, the Scarab Cult Terminator is just about in denial range. They need a double 6. So, oh, I gave it a go. Not quite. And that's where they end up. Okay, let's do the Stomper. Stomper will fire its Death Cannon into the Defiler, along with a Super Rocket. Its Super Gatler will go into the Terminators, and the big shooters and twin big shooters are going to go into the Fate Skimmer. No, I think into the Exalted Flamer. Okay, let's do that. So this is the Death Cannon. Fires. Oh, I'm going to give him more Dakar as well for 2 command points. Put me down to 3. This is 12 shots. Hitting on 5s. 4 hits, 4 Dakars. Getting 5 hits in total. Strength 10, toughness 7, freeze to wound. And that is 4 5-up demon saves, which he fails all of them. Command point, Thousand Suns. No. 46 damage. 7, 10, 12. Okay, 2 left on the Defiler. This is the Super Rocket. Fires 3 times. Hitting on 5s. No, they all miss. It's going to survive. Right, it's going to survive from the Stomper. Big shooters into the Exalted Flamer. 4 hits with the Dakars. Freeze to wound. 4-up saves. Takes 2 wounds. Okay, 2 left. And then in the Terminators, 3d6 hits. Hitting on 5s. Give them more Dakar. 5-ups again. So that's 5 hits. Wounding on 3s. And that's 3 2-up saves. No, 3-up saves. It's -2 for that 1 damage. So 1 takes a wound. On a 2-up, it'll fire again. Yes, it fires again. 3d6 shots. 13 shots hitting on 5s. 5 Dakars. 9 hits wounding on 3s. 8 3-up saves. That's going to kill that injured Terminator and kill another one. Okay, for the boys, the Rocket will try and finish off the Exalted Flamer, the sluggers into the cultists. So this is the Rocket, which misses. 20 sluggers. 6 hits, Dakar's not converting. Wounding on 3s. And these are 5-up saves because they're in cover. And oh, I need 2 more. Okay, all the weapons for the Megatrack Scrapjet going into the Scarabocult Terminators. These are the big shooters. Blue dice are hitting on 4s, so 2 hits, wounding on 3s, 1 2-up save. Oh no, blinks a wound. And then the rocket cannon fires 2d3 times, that's 4 times, and hits on 5s with 2 daggers. So 2 hits, wounding on 3, strength 8. Oh, doesn't wound. And then the rocket hits on a 6 because it's not a vehicle. No, that misses. Okay, Bonebreaker. The big gun will fire at the Defiler, trying to strip those 2 wounds off. Hold on a second. No, I won't. I'm going to do the Shooter Boys first. Yeah, Shooter Boys into the Defiler. These are the small arms. Yeah, not that good shooting. They're obviously a bit discombobulated by being chucked across the table. So winning on 5, strength 4, toughness 7, 3-up save. No, does take a wound. 1 wound left on the Defiler, and there is the big shooter in that unit, which hits once with a dagger. Doesn't convert. Still winning on 5, strength 5. No, he doesn't wound. Okay, shot jump dragster into the Defiler. This is the rifle hitting on 3s. Gets 1 hit with a dagger, which hits again. Strength 8, toughness 7, 3s to wound. -2 save, 5 up. No, and that's going to knock the final wound off. And does it explode? The rockets would have also gone into it. It doesn't explode. Okay, I rolled the Grot Blasters off camera. They're just about in range, but they did no damage. Okay, these are just about in range as well. They're going to shoot at the rubrics. How many shots do they fire? 3 each. Okay, 27 dice hitting on 5. Only 6 hits, but 2 daggers. Don't convert. Winning on 3s. Ugh, 2. 2 -1 flat 2 damage. So no all is dust, so 4-up saves. Does destroy 2. Okay, finally the Bonebreaker. It did a kill cannon into the Terminators. And yeah, and the small arms into the Terminators as well. So everything. So this is the big shooters. Good shooting so far. These are the daggers. Wow. Wounding on 3s. And 2-up saves. No, they all save. Kill cannon fires twice, hitting on 5s. 1 dagger, which doesn't convert. Wounding on 3s, doesn't wound. Charge phase, the Ork boys will charge the cultists. The Death Dread will charge the Hellbrute. And the Bonebreaker will charge the rubrics. I'm going to spend 2 command points on ramming speed. That puts the Orks on 1 command point. Thousand Suns are on 2. Let's see if the Bonebreaker gets in. Yeah, that is a 13-inch charge. On a 2-up, it does D3 mortal wounds. Yeah, D3 mortal wounds, getting 2. Incidentally, the Grot Rigger put a wound back on the Bonebreaker, and I have been rolling the I had been rolling the third eye reroll until the Exalted Sorcerer had killed, but he never got too many back. But there we go. Right, let's see the Ork boys. They're going to get in on a 5, that's not a problem. And then the Death Dread's in. And I also sent in the Weird Boy and a Big Mech just to try and get a bit further up the table. Okay, activating the Bonebreaker first. Has 6 attacks plus D6 with the Bonebreaker Ram, that's 9. Hitting on 2s, which they all hit. Strength is 9. Toughness 4, 2s to wound. And then these are -1 flat 2, so don't get all his dust, so they're 4-ups. And 1, 2, 3, 4 more die. Leaving only the Exalted Sorcerer and the Soul Reaper. I'm not going to... 2 command points left. Do you know what? I am going to spend those 2 command points. I fancy my chances Getting another victory point by killing that knob bike. I should perhaps... My heart wants to go into the Death Dread, but I think it's an easier kill for the Ork bike. So no more command points for the Thousand Suns, and he's going to interrupt and hit the biker 4 times, and he will squish him, definitely dead, and that is another victory point. Okay, Death Dread into the Hellbrute, hitting on freeze, and then wounding 3s or 2s, definitely not that, so it's 2 wounds, -3 save, so 6s, no, and that is 6 damage. That's destroyed. Does it blow up? Nope. Okay, now activating the Ork boys. The Orks massacre the cultists and come piling over the barricades, engaging Araman. That's forcing him to fall back if he wants to, but he does mean he gets to attack. Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s because he can. Blades of Araman would be wounding on 3, strength 6. Staff of Araman, I mean. Oh, he only kills 2. And then the disc hits and wounds and kills a 3rd. Okay, the Exalted Sorcerer managed to put 2 wounds back against the Bonebreaker, and that is the end of turn 5 for the Orks. Things are looking desperate for the Thousand Suns. They are beginning to get encircled as they retreat back to the Noctilith Crown. Yes, the Orks have definitely broken through on this flank, and they pray to Tzeentch to see if the game ends. Does the Cabal Sorcerers finally get the Kind Shield activated? Let's see. On a 1 or 2, the game ends. The game continues. Okay, and here we are at the end of the movement phase for Thousand Suns, turn 6. Let's see if the psychic defenses activate. Nope. Right, I've fallen Araman out of combat. Just didn't want him to get swamped, and I'm going to try and thin down these Orks as much as possible with the Flamers, Horrors, and the remaining rubrics. Most things have really stayed put, apart from this Sorcerer and the Demon Prince have peeled off to try and deal with this threat, and the Chariot's going to engage the Bonebreaker. In order to shoot the Bonebreaker, I've pulled the last Rubric Marine out of combat. Yeah, not so many assets left now. Desperate times for the Thousand Suns. Let's go into the psychic phase. But before I do that, I will use this Sorcerer to summon some Screamers, and he does succeed. Once again, desperate entreaties to Tzeentch split the air as demons are summoned into this realm to try and desperately hold back the Orks. Right, let's go into the psychic phase. Okay, the Fate Skimmer will try and smite and fails. Okay, the aura from the Noctilith Crown is now 12 inches because we're in the 3rd and subsequent battle round. So just about within 12 inches from corner to corner. So I can re-roll that because it is a Chaos Sorcerer. It does go off in a 7. I'm going to try and deny with the Weird Boy, who fails to deny. So that's D3 mortal wounds against the Bonebreaker for just 1, down to 13. Time Flux on this squad. Succeeds on an 11, so I can get D3 back in the squad for 2. Okay, yeah, Smite coming in from the Sorcerer. This is on a 6 now, and that is a Super Smite on an 11. It's D6 mortal wounds against the Shooter Boys for 3. Second power, Infernal Gaze, which can re-roll because he's near the Noctilith Crown, and that does go off 4 up mortal wounds. Kills another boy. Okay, Demon Prince with Smite. This is now on a 7. And he can re-roll because of the Noctilith Crown. And it does go off. D3 mortal wounds. At 3. Going to cast Diabolic Strength on himself. Which fails. A re-roll. And it succeeds. So that he's +1 attacks, +2 strength. Okay, this also will do Firestorm of Tzeentch, which succeeds. Let's keep whistling away this shooter boy unit. So on 6s, mortal wounds. Oh, that's better. I kept moaning I didn't get enough 6s. That's 4. Leaving the knob standing alone, wondering where his boys have all gone. And then he will do Boon of Tzeentch on himself, which passes. And the result is the eye opens. Choose a boon, but you can't choose Spawndom or Demonhood. So I shall do Esoteric Insight, add 1 to Psychic tests. Finally, even, Baby Smite coming from the Terminators, which I can reroll because of the Nocturne Crown, and does succeed. That's going to do 1 mortal wound against the Bonebreaker. On to the shooting phase, kicking off with the Flamers of Tzeentch going into the Ork boys. 3d6 auto hits. Oh, that's good, 14. 4's to kill, strength 4, toughness 4. 6 get incinerated. Okay, continuing with the rubrics, they're going to fire into the boys. This is the Soul Reaper. Hits 4 times. Killing on 3s. That kills 3. Rapid firing Warp Bolters and the Warp Bolt Pistol, hitting on 3s. Killing on 4s. 2 more. Okay, these are the pink horrors with their flickering flames. Wounding on 5s. 5 t-shirt saves. Oh, saves 2, so 3 die. Okay, the Exalted Flamer is going to do his blue flames into the boys. So d6 auto hits for 5. This is strength 5, toughness 4, so 3's to wound and kill. So that's just a knob left. Okay, Terminator's going to split fire. The missiles are going to go into the Bonebreaker. The 2 remaining Warpstorm bolters are going to try and finish off the knob. I mean, I do have charges I could do, but they're not exactly close assault units, and I don't trust them. So I'm going to try and shoot them to get an extra victory points. So these are the Warp bolters hitting on 3s. And wounding on 4s. That's a good wound roll, and these will require 6s to save, 2 wounds to get through. Yep, that's a dead boy, dead knob, and that's another victory point. Missile launchers. Only 1 hit, wounding on 4s, doesn't wound. Okay, that's the end of the shooting phase. Let's go into the charge phase. Right, I'm trying to be a bit greedy. The Sorcerer's going to try and take out the last knob. The Demon Prince is going to take out the Shock Jump Dragster. And then the Flux Master, it's not Flux Master, is he? What is he? Is the Chariot is going to charge along with the Screamers, the Bonebreaker. Okay, I think I'm going to activate Sorcerer first. So he has 3 attacks base, +1 for Hateful Assault, hitting on 3s, and he hits 3 times. With his Force Stave, he is wounding on 3s, strength 6. 2 wounds, 2 -1 saves, and makes 1 save, d3 damage. There are 2 wounds to get through, but he does kill him. Might as well spend 2 command points to interrupt with the Bonebreaker, because it didn't charge. It's got 6 attacks, and I'm going to put them all against the Fate Skimmer. It has a locus of change, which means 2s will miss. 6 attacks, hitting on 3s, therefore 1s and 2s will miss. So getting through there. Wounding on 3s. Okay, only 3 wounds and 4 up and vulnerable. Takes 4 damage. Got 4 left. Right, attacks back. This is the Herald of Tzeentch. Misses. These are the Screamers pulling the chariots. That's 4 hits. He's winning on 5 save, strength 7. 1 -3 save, takes flat 2 damage. Putting it on 10, I'm going to spend my last command point, which I gain this turn, on Warp Jaws, which means they can add 1 to their wound rolls against vehicles, and that's against the Screamers. So this is 9 attacks. Oops, excuse me. 9 attacks. and getting 4 hits. Normally wounding on 5s, but 4s because of warp jaws. Only 1 gets through, but still another fat do 2 damage. Putting it on 8 wounds left. I think it is bracketed now. Demon Prince has 4 attacks base, +1 for Hateful Assault, +1 for Diabolic Strength, +1 for Malefic Talons. And he's using that, not the bob with the axe, and the all hits. And he's winning on freeze, Strength 7, Toughness 6. And these are -2 saves, so 6 ups. And that is 8 damage, and that's enough. Oh, come on, point me wrong. Just 6 up. No. Does it blow up? No, it doesn't blow up. So the Thousand Suns successfully clearing the very back line. Bonebreaker causing some difficulties. Focus. There we go. And there are 6 Meganobs in there as well. So let's go into turn 6 for the Orks. Okay, here we are at the end of movement phase for Ork turn 6. There's a roar of more engines and more bestial voices as the reserves keep coming on. Although I fear they're probably little to do to impact on the game at this stage. The surviving Ork unit's still charging forward. The Weird Boy has run back to jump these knobs one last time, so let's do that. And he succeeds on a 9. And suddenly more Orks appear in the backfield. Possibly eyeing up a charge against Araman, but we shall see. Okay, let's go into the shooting phase. The Megatrat Scrapjet will put everything into the rubrics. Big shooters. Getting 1 hit, wounding on freeze, doesn't wound. 2d3 rocket cannon for 3 shots. Hitting on 5s. Ooh, 2 daggers. And wounding on 2s. And these are -2. So that's a save, but the rest, that's 2 dead. 3 dead. And then the rocket corkscrews out and misses because it's not a vehicle which is being targeted. Right. Let's spend my last 2 command points on giving more Daka on the Stomper one more time. Death Cannon into Araman. The Mega Gatler into the Terminators, and also the big shooters, and then the rocket launcher, missile launcher will also fire into Araman. So this is the Death Cannon against Araman, and it fires 12 times. 5s with 5 daggers. Oh dear, oh dear. 2s to wound. 3 up invulnerable saves. No command points left. 1 gets through. He's got 5 wounds. And he's got 1 left. Rocket fires d6 times. Only once does it hit. Misses. Araman lives. Well, for the time being, there are some knobs in his back passage. Mega Gatler fires 9 times. Five hits, wounding on 3s. -2 save damage. 1 takes a wound. Firing it again on the 2 up. Oh no, who's run out? Oh no, and these are small arms. Only 2 hits so far. 3 hits, wounding on 3s. 2 2-up saves. Oh, kills 1 more rubric, 1 more Scarab Occult. Okay, the big shooters from the Bonebreaker are going to fire into these Screamers, I think. 2 hits, 2 hits with a Daka, doesn't convert, and 1 wound, 1 4-up, saved. Rockets from the Mega Knob and try and snipe off this character. Characters can't protect characters, so that is 2 hits so far with a Daka. 2 hits, strength 8, toughness 4, 2s, and then 5-up save. Fat-free damage, which does actually kill that sorcerer. Okay, charge phase. Mega Knobs are going to charge the Spiring Sorcerer and the Screamers. The Death Dread is going to charge the Terminators. And, yeah, I might as well charge with the Megatrat Scrapjet. The Flamers. Got no command points to Overwatch. Okay, on a 4-up it does mortal wounds. The Megatrat Scrapjet, no it doesn't. Megatrat Scrapjet, 4 attacks, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s, 4-up invulnerable saves, and that's going to kill 1, flat 2 damage. Ah, I forgot the knobs. They're going to charge. In fact, they're going to shoot Arrowman before they charge. Let's go back to the shooting phase. 8 sluggers, 2 hits, wounding on 4s, 2 wounds, 2 3-up saves, they save. And the charge into Arrowman, it's 9 inches. Let's re-roll that one. It's a failed charge again. And Death Dread hits 3 times, winning on 2s. Gonna need 5-up saved. And only 1 gets taken down. Okay, these are the Mega Knobs going into the Spiring Sorcerer, hitting on 4s with their unwieldy power claws, winning on 2s. Only 1 wound, 5-up invulnerable, saved. Oh, in fact, there are 2 more in base to base. I should, hold on. Yeah, there's 1 more Mega Knob here, which is within an inch is only because it's on terrain and can't quite do it. But this is the twin power saws hitting him on 4s, wounding on 2s, another 2 5-up. He finally falls. And then I've got 1 power clawed knob against the Screamers, hits twice, wounding on 2s, wounds once, 4-up invulnerable, saved. And then 2 twin saw Mega Knobs against the Screamers, hitting on 4s, wounding on 2s, 4-up saves, and that's 2 Screamers destroyed because it's flat 2 damage. Attacks back, I might as well keep going against the Bonebreaker. This is the Herald of Zinch, hits twice, wounding on 6s, doesn't wound, and I'll do the 3 Screamers together. Hitting on 4s, oh, only 2 hits, wounding on 5s, no. And that is the end of Orc turn 6. Yeah, this flank is beginning to crumble. This one's holding a little bit more. Let's see if the game ends. On a 1, 2, 3, the game will end. And that's the end of the game. The kind shield flickers into life, but is it enough? Let's tally up the victory points. Okay, there are 2 lines of dice here. And then 2 lines of dice here. Let's remove that because that's confusing. So, every Orc unit between these 2 lines of dice scores a victory point for the Orcs. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Every Orc unit on this side of the dice scores 2 victory points. So 5, 6, 7, 8 for the Mega Knobs. It's 8 victory points. To the Orcs, 20 for the Thousand Suns. They have managed to bring down the psychic barrier. They've trapped a few Orc units within the city, but they will be exterminated. But from now on, their headquarters and the capital city of the planet Chancel 4 is safe. They have managed to stem the Orc advance after a bitter protracted struggle where the Thousand Sons had to call on a number of times, time after time, on their demonic allies to just throw expendable demonic enemy units into the path of the Orks. Magnus the Red, he needed to fly back and finish the conjuration after dispatching one Stomper. But yeah, that was desperate stuff. If you think about what's left over from the Thousand Sons perspective, we've got Ahriman on 1 wound. We've got 1 aspiring sorcerer up here, and a demon prince, who at one point was down to 1 wound, and 1 Scarabcop Terminator, who probably won't last very long against the Orks in combat. So almost destroyed to a man. It was really the demons that kept the Thousand Sons in this game. The ability to have their own recyclable units making a difference there, I think. A couple of really good points. I really like the Zangor charge down this flank, sacrificing themselves. The pink horror unit initially really bogging down the Orks in the first quarter of the table, really helping. And actually the 2 sorcerers in the backfield here just heroically summoning in units time after time. Yeah, really enjoyed that game. It's going to be a very long one by the time I edit it, even when I edit it down. So I might need to split it into 2 parts. We'll see how it goes. But yes, so the Battle of Chancellor 4 is not yet over. The Thousand Sons have finally secured their base of operations and now have a place of strength from which to take the enemy, battle to the enemy. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a long, hard slog. This scenery from TT Combat, the battle map from GameMap.eu, the Noctiliff Crown, of course, is Citadel Miniature from Games Workshop. But yeah, this stuff from TT Combat as well. And so are these barrels, actually. Okay, yeah, well, if you like the game, like the channel, then please like, subscribe, all that kind of thing. It helps build the channel ever so slowly and slightly. But it's yeah, hope you enjoyed it. This is how the dice fall on Drop Dice Gaming. Thanks again for watching. Cheers, bye.